So honestly, this channel was made just for like the title of the channel says it's like the internet's event horizon. So like at the event horizon, it's like the point of no return. Like it's the black hole of the black hole. It's the point to where like you're infinitely like in the middle of the black hole, or so we think, but at the same time you literally can't. Like you're at the point of no return. So it's literally like these videos are out there now and it's whatever. So really it's a way for me to kind of get my ideas out of my head. I have a lot of ideas, a lot of thoughts, and writing is a way that I express some of it and it helps me. But one thing that in writing that I don't do well and that sometimes I do better speaking out loud, both allow you to kind of structure thoughts a lot better than the abyss and bouncing back and forth that is being in your head. But I'm really trying to get better at actually structuring my ideas to where there's a flow and a pattern and a structure that is easier to understand both in writing and speaking. So that's what the skill, at least that's the skill that I feel like I'm improving on in these. But at the same time, it's just throwing things into the point of no return. Um, they may never reach anybody, and that's okay because these are just for me to put something out into the point of no return. Um, I can dive deeper into the whole internet's event horizon and why that's even named the channel. But that's not for the video today. Maybe another video. Today's video, I just had some thoughts on overall the idea of remembering your past self and how that affects who you currently are. For a lot of different reasons, it's been on my mind. One, there was just, I went to church today and just got a word basically on that context of like the old you is dead, and like when you're in Christ, the old you is dead. And to a certain extent, I understand it in the biblical sense, but also I was watching or listening to Andrew Huberman. He was doing a podcast with somebody. And he was talking about one of the things that he likes the most about Rick Rubin is that he doesn't really talk about his past a lot. He's really present, but if like someone asked him, he like divulge all the different stories about all the different people that he's met, but he does not incite those stories. He does not bring his past back to the present without there being an exterior or outside insider of that to be brought up. And that's really fascinating. And just before I started filming this, there was also the idea that dopamine is about the chase. Dopamine is dopamine because of the fact that we don't have it. Because once we have something, our dopamine level suppresses. So it's about the before the high. It's about the before the climax, before the eating the food, before the achieving a certain goal. That's where the dopamine actually lies. So to combine all those different thoughts, it's really like, okay, I am me in the present. I, me personally, I am fond of understanding the person that I once was for the reason that I don't really remember as well as other people claim to remember my youth. And some of it might be due to trauma, because another thing that I've seen and read about is the idea that certain life events allow for your memories to be suppressed because of emotions or the trauma of a certain event. So I think about my childhood, my upbringing, and like, okay, what part of that would have even allowed for suppressed emotions so strong that it suppressed the memory as well, or the trauma that suppressed the memory as well, and what effect that has to me today. Because, like I said, I'm fond and I would love to know more or feel like I understand more that person that I once was, but at the same time, how much benefit am I getting in the fact that I really do not remember how I was for a lot of my life? Like, maybe the furthest memory I can go back is it's like eighth grade, seventh grade, some like core memories, but not even as far back as like I can remember vividly freshman year of college or senior year to a certain extent, but senior year of high school and freshman year of college. But it's the idea that I don't remember that stuff, and in not remembering that stuff, how has it affected me in my present? Because I perceive myself as who I am now, but how much of that is because the duality of blessing and curse of not really remembering my childhood, not really remembering a lot of the things outside of the furthest on either side of the spectrum, like the worst of the worst things or the best of the best feelings. That's something that is very interesting to me. And just the idea that I'm with that philosophy of Rick Rubin. Like, don't bring the past back to the present. Let's be in the present. And then if somebody else wants to engage with that past memory or inquire about a past memory or past knowledge, then I can still access that, but I don't need to do it myself. I don't need to hold that into, and in technical terms, I don't need to hold that into a cache and be swapping. I need to just throw it on the hard drive, and then if somebody wants it, it'll take a little bit longer. I have to think about it, but I still have it. But it's not as readily available as things that were 1 month ago or things that are happening right now. And I feel like that's a good way to live, but it's also, I feel bad in a way because a lot of my personal conflictions are in the idea that I'm still trying to figure out who I was and how that has affected me, who I am now. Like, I used to write when I was younger, and I still like to write today. I read a lot when I was younger, read a lot of fiction, read a lot of stories, and my imagination is amazing today. And my storytelling, I have a passion for it, a love for it, and movies and shows I loved as a child, and I love them now. And all those things, those make sense now, logically following that those things are still some of the things that I love now. Just with, when you start things when you're young or when you do things when you're young, they kind of stick with you. And a lot of it has stuck with me subconsciously. And it's not until I'm thinking about who I was younger that I was like, that does make sense. But how much value do I get out of that? Because I already knew that I liked it. It's just a matter that now I have a logic path of understanding why. So how much does that why in terms of myself actually matter to anything at all? And then going on to connect it now to the dopamine part is the chase the chase for me, the chase for figuring out who I was and why I am the way that I am now because of all the different questions that I have about that, or the chase about just finding out where there may still be places for me to improve, places for me to be better that are rooted in that younger self. And I don't really have the answer for that because I do think that I will always be the type of person like there's so much more to learn, there's so much more to do. So the drive will always be there, but the thing that sucks for me is the drive will always be there for something, but it's not always the drive will always be there long enough to complete whatever that something is for me. And that's something I've been trying to work on as well is getting better at that. Like I have it written down on my whiteboard. I want to be known as somebody that actually got shit done. Like I don't want to be as cool as it sounds. Like I don't want to be the guy that had all these good ideas. No, I want to like make shit. I want to have those ideas touch people. Like people see this is real, not it in my head, because in my head, oh my gosh, there's so many good ideas, and I'm talking about real good ideas in my head, but I can talk this talk all I want, but no one's going to believe me unless it becomes real. And there's a weird relationship with me about that because I truly believe that there's so much stuff that I could just do and I know that I can do it. And when I know that I could do something, I'm okay with not doing it because I genuinely know that if I wanted to do it, I would do it. And that's just my confidence in some of the things that I've done in the past and some of the adversities that I've overcome in the past. So it's like I know, like unequivocally, I know I could do it if I wanted to, if I actually tried to. So it's like I don't really have to do that right now. I can focus my attention on other stuff. But it's the point to where, and I've written about this a little bit. It's the point to where if there was something that I truly like personally, I was like, I don't actually know if you can do that. I don't know that I can do that, bro. I'm doing it because I gotta prove it to myself to keep that standard of confidence. Like if I don't think that I can do that, I have to do it. Because like what the fuck you mean you can't do that shit? Why can't you? Is there something that you truly cannot do? And as unrealistic as it sounds, like, oh, but you couldn't go be a president, or you couldn't do this, blah, 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 whatever. I mean, if I wanted to, like, I'm delusional, I'm irrational, and that's okay. It truly is. But like, why the fuck not? Why the fuck not? And the delusion is good because the delusion is only delusion because everybody else doesn't think the way that I think or doesn't actually have the same faith in me that I have. But I am rambling a little bit now. Let's see if we can connect all the dots into like a good paragraph, a good statement. I am fascinated about the past and how past actions influence the present at all times. And internally, retrospectively, introspectively, I would like to understand myself younger better to see if that same principle of like almost like in the foundation there's psychohistory, well, and you know how they say history repeats itself, and just those same type of concepts in all the way down to a personal level. Like, I did these things when I was younger. I was raised this way. I went through this. I am this person now. Now, how much can those cycles reiterate throughout the rest of my life? And how can I be aware of those and know when I'm in a cycle and know how to complete a cycle if it's good, or dead it if it's bad? And how can I just be the best me that I can be? Yeah. How can I be the best me that I can be? And what can I learn about my younger self that can allow me to do that without harping on the past so much that every time I talk to a high school friend, all we're talking about is high school football and how practice was in high school. Like, I don't want to do that shit. Like, let's talk about now. What do you have going on now? What are you doing with your life now? Like, let's make new memories maybe. Let's talk about current things. I don't want to keep indulging in that kind of past thing, because why are we talking about that? Like, that's done with, over with. And I have to get better at that, because there is really no value to that for real. So I don't want to do that, but I do want to hold on to me in the past. Right now, I feel like that's a good idea, but it might not be. And that's what I'm trying to figure out is this something that's good for me? Is this something that's helping me in the present, or is this something just me trying to hold on to something because I have lost memories and I'm trying to really remember stuff, or I'm trying to reconnect with something that I don't remember, and I'm just fighting the uphill battle because these memories will never come back if they're gone at this point. So I don't know, but the dopamine comes from stuff like this, and finding a new logic path that makes something make sense of why I am who I am now, and I feel joy in that. So I'm gonna keep chasing it, and hopefully it'll net positive. But yeah, that's what I have thrown into the internet. Jesus, why did I just stutter on the word when I said it right? I hate when I do that. It's like my thoughts be going too fast, and like I say the word, but I'm thinking about like the third next word, and yeah. But those are my thoughts thrown into the internet's event horizon, and eventually we'll try to elaborate on what that means. I definitely rambled a little bit, but maybe not a little bit, maybe a lot, but I'll get better at this. Structuring my thoughts. It's better to do it out loud though than in my head. Like a monologue, if you will, that's on the internet now. But fuck. Yeah.